Reaction joining us from Los Angeles, Leslie Marshall, and from Washington, Dana Perino, both are Fox News analysts. So Dana, to be fair, Mr. Obama did inherit an economic mess, did he not?
Well, sure, and there's no hiding that. There was absolute transparency when he came on board. Remember, the Democrats had been in Congress for the past 4 years prior to President Obama taking over. But to his analogy, he took the wheel, if I could continue the metaphor, 19 months ago. And at some point, he has to realize that his policies are not divorced from the results that they have now. I remember in 2006, the Democrats really tagged President Bush and crushed us in the midterm elections by saying that President Bush was stay the course on Iraq. I actually think that Republicans could say the same about President Obama now, that stay the course on the economy. It seems that he is inflexible and unwilling to come up with a different idea that would actually get the job situation better. One thing you didn't mention in your talking points, Bill, is that another 181,000 people decided to leave the workforce in July because there's no jobs for them to find.
All right, Leslie, how do you reply to that? It looks to me and to most Americans, if you believe the Gallup poll this week, 41% approval, 53% disapprove, and most of that's on the economy, that the American public is saying, look, you're not doing a job, Mr. President. What say you?
Well, first of all, Americans, myself included, are very impatient. And, we want everything fixed right away. Without blaming any former president or administration, we didn't get there, here in a day. I always say it took me 10 months to have a baby and 2 years to lose the weight. Well, we get to this point economically in this country, we have to be more patient with job creation. There have been jobs created in the private sector, and I do believe that this will turn around. I'm impatient, and America needs to wait.
You believe it because you want to believe it. I mean, and that's not a bad thing.
No, I believe it because I see growth. Although it's small,
how can you
it's
see
steady.
growth when there's minuscule in the private sector, 71,000 jobs in July, and then they lose more than 200,000 in the federal and state governments because they're broke? So come on, where are you seeing this growth, Leslie? Where is this? Not Los Angeles.
Because July historically, Bill, good or bad economy, is a slow month for employment. People go on vacation that have jobs. People go on vacation that are even looking for jobs. If you notice, we even had growth in the travel sector as well as manufacturing.
So you're optimistic,
and the private sector.
But most Americans are not, and the president's getting pounded. So let's then move the story forward. President Obama now has to wait another month into September for the August, and if you think July is slow, August, everybody's on vacation, they're all around, and people are furloughed. I mean, come on, everybody. I was in Atlantic City last night, and the casinos are dying. There's nobody there. And that's not going to turn around, as you said, Leslie, very quickly. So you got to assume that President Obama is going to limp into the election season, Dana. You got to assume that that's going to be the reality. There's not going to be any dramatic, great news. Maybe a little uptick, but probably it'll remain at 9.5 unemployment. What happens then, Dana?
Well, probably all the way through November that's going to be
true.
So
what happens then?
Well, I think that what is going to continue to happen, unless they're willing to have some sort of a game-changing moment where they have a
country? What happens to the country if President Obama is sitting on?
We limp along. We continue to limp along. And you know what's really sad is you have these people who have been on unemployment benefits now for 99 weeks. And at 99 weeks, you start losing your benefits. Then you had, as I said, 181,000 people just stop looking. And the intensity on the Republican side for the midterms is at 44% compared to Democrats' 22%. That will only get stronger, and that will mean further losses for the Democrats in November.
Do you see that, Leslie, happening? Do you see Armageddon? I mean, Dick Morris said the other day that he thinks the Democrats are going to lose the Senate. The House.
Well, first of all, to Dana's point, Republicans didn't want to extend those benefits, but in November,
they did. They wanted them paid for. They wanted to pay for them. That was the only thing.
We went over this.
They want people to go back to work, but we need the jobs, obviously, to do that.
It's not fair because they did vote for it. They just wanted it paid for using the TARP funds that hadn't been used yet.
Stimulus money. We've been over this and over this and over this. Okay, let's advance the story. Go.
In November, there certainly are going to be seats on both sides that are lost because Americans are angry with the incumbents. The danger in doing that across the board is that we might lose some good incumbents on either side of the aisle. We shouldn't throw the baby out with the bathwater. We need to look at the record and what these politicians, left or right, have or haven't done for their constituents.
So if President Obama loses one or both houses in Congress, Dana, and you've been up on the Hill, then he's basically paralyzed. Then he can't do anything. And then the Republicans will start to bang the drum to roll back Obamacare, to roll back the spending, to cut this, to cut that, because the Republicans have to do that. It's the only thing they have right now. So then it's chaos.
Not only that, but Bill, on November 3rd, which is the day after the midterm elections, immediately, guess where everybody's focus goes to? 2012.
Sure.
And so then we're going to be in a presidential election cycle. And you're right, it's going to be very hard for them to get something done unless he is willing to actually bring Republicans in and make them a part of the solution or a part of the problem.
Yeah, but the Republicans
right now,
won't
they
do
can
that,
stand
Dana.
back.
They're not going to do that. If they sense blood in the water, they're going to sit on the boat.
Well, for the good of the country, for the good of the folks, we have got to do something that's different that actually doesn't allow us to
I'm all for the good of the folks. All right. Do you agree, Leslie, that if it continues, and it looks like it will, President Obama is going to be very, very damaged come November 3rd?
I don't think we're going to lose the House. We Democrats are going to lose the House and the Senate, although I do think there will be some seats
So you don't
lost,
think
no
we're going
question.
to? You want to make a little bet, Leslie? You got a little money on you?
Oh, come! You were just in Atlantic City, Bill. I think you're probably a better gambler than I am.
I'm a big winner. All right. So no, well, Leslie, I'm serious now. You got any cash? Come on, I'm putting my money where my mouth is.
Compared to you,
here.
no. Compared to you,
I'm not rooting for anybody, but I'd like to, raise some money for maybe the Haitian Health Foundation or something like that. You don't want to put up some money, Leslie, on this?
Okay, that the Democrats will not lose the House.
Yeah,
Here
how much
I
you
go.
wanna go?
Dana,
How much
what
you
should
wanna
I
go?
bet?
How much?
Should we just be fair and do $20?
$20, Leslie. Remind me to take you to Vegas when I go. All right, Leslie, you got your 20. Ladies, thanks very much. We'd like you to vote in our bill.